The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses the installation of low-voltage wiring in wall spaces. NEC Article 300.22 Code states that conductors and cables for systems less than 50 volts shall not be installed in the same raceway, cable, or enclosure with conductors and cables for systems of 50 volts or more. Additionally, Article 725.16b specifies that Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 remote control, signaling, and power-limited circuits shall not be run in the same raceway, cable, or enclosure with conductors or cables of higher voltage. The NEC Handbook's commentary on Section 725.16b further explains that low-voltage circuits should not be installed in the same raceway or enclosure with higher voltage circuits because induced voltages could compromise the operation of the low-voltage circuits. NFPA 70, which is the standard for electrical safety in the workplace, Section 130.1F3 states that electrical equipment operating at less than 50 volts between conductors shall not be connected to a higher voltage system. There are exceptions to these rules. Article 725.16b2 allows that Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 conductors and cables may be installed in the same raceway, cable, or enclosure with conductors and cables of higher voltage if the higher voltage circuits are suitably isolated or guarded and do not create a hazard to the low voltage circuits. Furthermore, Article 800.118 permits that Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 remote control and signaling circuits may be installed in the wall spaces of a building if the circuits are protected against physical damage. Based on the NEC and NFPA 70, low-voltage wiring, such as bell wiring or thermostat controls, cannot be installed in the same raceway, cable, or enclosure with conductors or cables for systems of 50 volts or more. However, the NEC does allow for exceptions in certain circumstances where the higher voltage circuits are suitably isolated or guarded and do not create a hazard to the lower voltage circuits. To summarize, firstly, the NEC generally prohibits the mixing of low voltage and high voltage wiring in the same raceway, cable, or enclosure. Secondly, this prohibition is based on concerns about induced voltages and potential hazards to the lower voltage circuits. Thirdly, exceptions exist when higher voltage circuits are suitably isolated or guarded. Fourthly, low voltage circuits can be installed in wall spaces if they are protected against physical damage. Fifthly, always consult the latest edition of the NEC and local amendments for the most up-to-date requirements. Sixthly, consider consulting a qualified electrician for specific applications. Seventhly, ensure that all installations comply with applicable safety standards and regulations. Eighthly, when referring to the NEC, remember that it provides minimum safety standards, and stricter requirements may be imposed by local jurisdictions. Ninthly, always prioritize safety and adhere to best practices when working with electrical systems. Tenthly, careful planning and execution of electrical installations can help prevent electrical hazards and ensure proper system operation. One must understand that the electrical code distinguishes between different classes of circuits, such as Class 1, Class 2, and Class 3 circuits. These classifications are based on the voltage and power levels of the circuits, as well as the potential hazards associated with them. Class 1 circuits are generally power-limited circuits that do not exceed 30 volts alternating current or 60 volts direct current. They are often used for remote control and signaling applications. Class 2 circuits are also power-limited circuits, but they have even lower voltage and power levels than Class 1 circuits. They are typically used for low-energy applications such as doorbells, thermostats, and other control circuits. Class 3 circuits have higher voltage and power levels than Class 2 circuits, but they are still considered to be power-limited. They are used for applications such as fire alarm systems and security systems. The separation requirements between low voltage and high voltage circuits are primarily intended to prevent the risk of electrical shock and fire. When low voltage circuits are installed in close proximity to high voltage circuits, there is a risk of induced voltages or currents being coupled into the low voltage circuits. This can cause the low voltage circuits to malfunction or even become a fire hazard. By separating the low voltage and high voltage circuits, the risk of these problems is reduced. The NEC provides specific requirements for the type of wiring methods that can be used for low-voltage circuits. These requirements are designed to ensure that the wiring is properly protected against physical damage and that it is installed in a safe manner. For example, low-voltage wiring that is installed in concealed locations, such as within walls or ceilings, must be protected by conduit or other approved raceways. This helps to prevent the wiring from being damaged by nails, screws, or other objects. The NEC also specifies the types of overcurrent protection devices that must be used for low-voltage circuits. Overcurrent protection devices, such as fuses or circuit breakers, are designed to protect the wiring from overheating in the event of a short circuit or overload. By using the proper overcurrent protection devices, the risk of fire can be significantly reduced. In addition to the NEC, there may be other codes or standards that apply to the installation of low-voltage wiring. For example, some local jurisdictions may have their own electrical codes that are more stringent than the NEC. It is important to check with the local authorities to determine which codes and standards apply to a particular installation. When installing low-voltage wiring, it is important to follow all applicable codes and standards. This will help to ensure that the installation is safe and that it meets all of the requirements of the local authorities. It is also important to use qualified personnel for the installation of low-voltage wiring. A qualified electrician will have the knowledge and experience necessary to install the wiring in a safe and proper manner. Consider a scenario where a homeowner is installing a new thermostat in their home. The thermostat requires low-voltage wiring to connect it to the heating and cooling system. The homeowner is tempted to run the low-voltage wiring in the same conduit as the existing high-voltage wiring that supplies power to the furnace. However, this would be a violation of the NEC, which prohibits the mixing of low-voltage and high-voltage wiring in the same raceway. Instead, the homeowner should run the low-voltage wiring in a separate conduit or use a different wiring method that is approved for low-voltage circuits. This will help to ensure that the installation is safe and that it meets all of the requirements of the local electrical code. In another scenario, a business owner is installing a new security system in their office building. The security system requires low-voltage wiring to connect the various components, such as cameras, sensors, and control panels. The business owner is considering running the low-voltage wiring through the ceiling plenum, which is the space above the suspended ceiling. However, the NEC has specific requirements for the type of wiring that can be installed in a ceiling plenum. In general, only plenum-rated cables are allowed to be installed in a ceiling plenum. Plenum-rated cables are designed to be fire-resistant and to produce less smoke than other types of cables. This helps to reduce the risk of fire and to improve the safety of the building occupants. Therefore, the business owner should use plenum-rated cables for the low-voltage wiring that is installed in the ceiling plenum. The separation requirements between low-voltage and high-voltage circuits are not limited to power circuits. They also apply to communication circuits, such as telephone lines and data cables. Communication circuits typically operate at very low voltage levels, and they are susceptible to interference from nearby high-voltage circuits. When communication circuits are installed in close proximity to high-voltage circuits, the high-voltage circuits can induce noise and interference into the communication circuits. This can degrade the performance of the communication circuits and make it difficult to transmit data or communicate effectively. To prevent this problem, the NEC requires that communication circuits be separated from high-voltage circuits by a certain distance. The distance of separation depends on the voltage level of the high-voltage circuits and the type of communication circuit. In general, the higher the voltage level of the high-voltage circuits, the greater the distance of separation that is required. The NEC also provides specific requirements for the grounding of low-voltage circuits. Grounding is the process of connecting the electrical system to the earth. This helps to provide a path for fault current to flow back to the source in the event of a short circuit or ground fault. By grounding the low-voltage circuits, the risk of electrical shock can be reduced. The NEC specifies the types of grounding electrodes that can be used for low-voltage circuits. Grounding electrodes are typically made of copper or steel, and they are buried in the earth. The NEC also specifies the size and type of grounding conductors that must be used to connect the electrical system to the grounding electrode. The grounding conductor must be large enough to safely carry the fault current back to the source. It is important to note that the NEC is a constantly evolving document. The NEC is updated every 3 years to reflect changes in technology and best practices. It is important to stay up to date in the latest edition of the NEC to ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. There are many resources available to help you learn more about the NEC. The National Fire Protection Association, or NFPA, publishes the NEC, and they also offer a variety of training courses and publications. Additionally, many local jurisdictions offer training courses and resources on the NEC. By taking advantage of these resources, you can improve your knowledge of the NEC and ensure that your electrical installations are safe and compliant. In conclusion, the NEC provides comprehensive requirements for the installation of low-voltage wiring. By following these requirements, you can help to ensure that your electrical installations are safe, compliant, and reliable. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical inspector if you have any questions or concerns about the installation of low-voltage wiring.